I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, August the 15th, where we just need to get into the mode of starting to adjust to a down market. There's no doubt we're not going to be getting any big surprises, at least between now and probably the end of the year. The market may bounce back and forth, may come up a little bit, but it sure doesn't look like we've got any unforeseen rallies in there, and likely there's going to be some weeks in here that's going to be a lot tougher than what we had thought. So just need to start adjusting to this down market, meaning if you've got the ability to and you've got enough feeder cattle or calves to sell, you might want to think about getting a contract written on those things, getting them on and out front, some kind of a video or internet auction, just protecting yourself as well as you can. On the fat cattle side, we need to move cattle when we can move them. Try to dig in our heels when it's allowed, and just trying to stave off and keep as much market position as we can. Or if we just keep losing it, we're going to look up one of these days and we're just not going to have much left at all. But you know, you're the days of taking your cattle to the sale barn and they happen to bring $10, $100 more than you thought they were going to bring, are probably going to be over at least for a while, at least till we get over this big fall calf run. And likely there'll be some times in there where guys take cattle to the sale and they might bring that much less than what they thought. There's going to be significant discounts for unweaned calves that have already started. The weather's still warm, and the cattle are kind of used to that hot temperature, and still really in the summer. But discounts on these ballers have already started, and they will get progressively more severe until we get a widespread, significant hard freeze. And I know when it's 100 degrees outside, it's kind of hard to start thinking about a hard freeze, but and these balling calves, when the markets are really good and numbers are tight, you know, guys will take a chance on some unweaned calves, especially even some heavier weights, some 6 and 7 weight calves that are unweaned. But whenever there's more supply really than there is demand, they're going to start whittling on those cattle that are the hardest ones to straighten up. And those, you know, you're sure not going to take a chance on some cattle that you're going to have trouble with. You want to get as much foolproof cattle as you can. And when markets are down, you can afford to buy the kind of cattle that you want to buy. So that's another thing you need to prepare for, Justin, in this down market, is add as much value as you can to those cattle. Give them a long wean, give them a hard look. Give your buyers a fair weigh up and flesh condition when you do take them to the sale, and then give them as many vaccinations and as much backgrounding as you can. But you look at the board for starting out the week here. Live cattle futures, the October contract, down 80 cents at 106.60. Our August is sitting at 109.05. Pretty sizable basis to what's going on in the cash world. Feeder cattle, the August contract on feeders up 52 cents, so maybe they thought they were a little bit oversold there last week, taking down the limit there in the middle of the week. But August feeder cattle sitting at 142.30. Weighted average on last week's fat cattle trade on 112,000 head in your 5-area feeding region, which is a healthy marketing number. We need to keep selling those cattle, because the only thing that could get worse is if we get behind the game on selling these cattle and lose all our currentness that we've been enjoying for so long. Your weighted average on live steer sales, 115.17, down $2.13 from the previous week's weighted average. Dressed steers averaged 183.87, down 349. But you look at your feeder cattle markets, real-time index late Monday, sitting at 142.31, down an additional $1.13 from the end of last week. So, you know, and if you listened to me late last week, you knew that I said don't pay a lot of attention to these sharply lower trends that we're going to be on these high volume Monday markets. That's just catching up with what we've already been through mid to late last week. And sure enough, they completely caught up, and they got just as much severe trend hit as what your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday sales got too. But Oklahoma City did a light run, 4,200 head. Been really wet around. Been really wet here in the Texas Panhandle. Can't remember this much rain in such a short period, but guys are still loving it. Nobody ever cusses the rain in this part of the country, but just fantastic conditions here, and guys are really getting excited when it dries out enough to start planting wheat, because they think they'll get a good stand on it right off the bat, and that could help our calf market. But Oklahoma City, $6 to $10 lower. We knew they had that much to catch up with. Weaned calves near steady, and ballers $10 lower. So like I said, we've already started seeing the discounts on unweaned calves. Joplin, 3,600 head light run there, $5 to $10 lower. But if you look at the market report on Beef Market Central, automated report, you see that there's sharp losses in every single weight group, both steers and heifers, and that's just kind of the deal we're in. And never making fun of any market, but just a reality check here out of Joplin Regional Stockyards at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 69 head of steers weighed 985 at 128.85. That's your feeder flash for Tuesday.